This disgusting-looking demon has been on the top for 4 years, and the surrounding people have nothing to do. They feel that the critical moment falls from the sky in 1 to 10 years. A girl with absurd spirits appears in her hands, and the Italian soldier Dachuan appears, but the demon son Tion of these girls has been achieved. Although he has one, his granddaughter also comes out to try it out. She looks like a hot-blooded girl, she just wants to have a good time, and only now can she eat and enjoy it. In various countries, the only guy who doesn't have beautiful women but what the electronic lock does, there are some stories in the breakfast circle, because this group bag is injured, since East and West found Spring Street and arrived at the headquarters of the telephone city, there are people living in the east of the city. He died for a season, but the electronics came to the scene. After learning about the situation on the scene, Zhao Chuanri failed to kill that model. Explanation of the relative sense of texture, the two entered the miscellaneous place, and early spring opened the room with 1 foot. The hot eye change was an old man with a long queue, hot with 1 big foot, and then looked at early spring, let the electronics kill it. The bottom is to show it the ability of electrons. I didn't expect that the electronic lamps didn't use the power of demons much. The blood flowed like a mold. In early spring, why didn't the electrons use the power of demons? Electron expresses his sympathy for Morin and wants to die more easily. Fans' remarks entered the early spring because all his Shinran were killed by Morin. All the underground policemen are working to protect the safety of family and friends. Duji lives. They are full of hatred for demons. Don't be afraid to use the strongest way to kill them, but electrons can't get rid of their ideas, and they can't communicate until they hear about it. Electronics share and become friends with demons. Electronics said that he has no friends, which is not impossible. Anyway, early spring Electronics, who was tricked by himself, forced himself to explain the general. He picked up the little porn books he was playing with on the ground, and if there were demonic powers, the blood that flew in would hide these books. This one reminds me of the others. He has already lived his ideal life. He takes a bath and eats delicious food every day. When I was working, there were no girls to do it, but this ideal life still uses electronics, and I feel that there is something missing. But there is one missing goal. He thought of drinking police officers in the morning. Their goal is to kill all the demons, and the goal of the horsepalm is. What I think about through electrons is not Ma Chingma's goal, but his soft body. Before, electrons would run away all day just to eat their stomachs, and imagine that they have the opportunity to meet no girls. Feasible, he already has a job, and when he hears it, he feels something that he didn't dare to think about before, so he made a beauty order for himself. The goal is to feel the girl's soft chest. For the big goal, Marty came just after he confirmed it. This time, Electronics is still trying to achieve its goal. Among them, Matai didn't notice what he said a few days ago. The purpose of Marty's visit this time is nothing but to bring a new dimension to Electronics. As for the security issues of the sleeve personnel, the officer will arrange for everyone to reach the electron and not leave. But he really didn't have anyone to recognize Ma's nonsense. He's still wondering if Marty's going to tease his wish right away. The boys on the street in Gualudo kept shouting that the old man was afraid of him. He was superhuman and heavy. He came with some electronic experience. Isn't this what he looks like? Trapped like one's own North de Gaulle. Electronics is pleased to accept this tour assignment to reach the fast start of year 2. Because I'm afraid that if I look too idle, I will be taken away by the Green Door natives and other departments. Although they can live in peace if they lose their documents, the unit can avoid unnecessary troubles. Going out in such a place where there are no pedestrians, I can only walk on the roof of the mobile road building, and suddenly I am afraid that ordinary people will hit the head of the emperor. It's time for someone else to come up with something. Electronics are very annoying. If it seems that his eyes are very bright. I was just thinking about how to achieve the evil recovery. The great author Magician Lin told everyone Grandpa. If they don't give up the warning, their department will be dismissed, but it means that some people will return to unemployment. So their current noon is to quickly hide out of the field, and they have no choice but to get out of the street. It is basically said that there is no field to quit. Even the second counter is far away. At this time, the electron suddenly reacted and was put on small shoes by the guide window. And at this time, the fat bowl in the place suddenly became excited. The air of the fat bowl that looks like blood smells like blood. I can't keep up with the electronics. The fat bowl is not convex and runs to the other side. He ran to the edge of the building and jumped off the roof. It was as if his arm had turned into a huge hoof with his blood. At this time, people found a hungry person on the street below, and they were seriously preparing for the attack. Before the call was connected, a voice came out and fell from the sky, but holding this big bag in their hands was very difficult. With an empty sound, the fleshy feet of the hungry object were smashed on. I was afraid to play with it, but I thought it was blood, but it was very happy, and it sent out the sail of the electric valley. Just like the appearance, the level of a servant is better than that of the hungry object. This girl really talked about the sale of happiness and blood. It killed a hungry thing, but it's not the case. Maxie's face is afraid that the people who killed it were the hungry people who prevented the responsibility. Zhang Yu's will not correct the missing field notes, but it may also receive the stock Maxie's recruitment of electronics. If you are afraid of playing electronics, how can you control yourself? Excitable. Marcy began to suspect that he was afraid of playing, and that the suitable housing could continue to be the face of the door. In the face of it, it may be in the near future. Afraid of playing with bones, the bones will be broken, the bones will be broken, and the ears will be broken. The face of infinite description is the electric test under the electric test, and the face is covered with circles. After a short shot, we will start from the next two of the monument and experience the constant push of the grass. How can we say that about the 10,000-year-sized electron? If a woman is directly said to be talking about the two people recruited by Marcy, I will skip it, but I just want to see the outstanding performance of the face, not the tens of millions here. I bought the electronics for a day, but I was afraid to play and found Momming for a while. He walked over proudly. John Momming reported to the declaration and told Yin Momming that he would not compete with humans. He only likes to be with animals. This is very grassy. Because the original Momming was captured by the demon, and before he was rescued, the demon was killed by humans. Afraid of playing Momming in the arms of the archdemon, don't say that if I can save my own Mao, let him do anything, I'm not interested. I'm afraid of playing. I suddenly turn around and say to electronics that if I can help him, Momming will let electronics make tofu one at a time. If the tofu comes out suddenly, electronics' body will be separated. It will start to hurt fingers and send it to Momming's demon. Forgive me, but I will teach you to continue this turn. The devil in the cow is still like this.
Damn.